Yeah! Yeah! Oh, that's a really good one! Hello everyone! So we are about to get really old school YouTube all up in her, and I hope that you are ready for it. This is gonna be a video response, a collab, very simple, not a lot of editing, the essence of beer and a chat. So a couple of weeks ago, my good buddy James made and sent me this unlisted video.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna give you a quick rundown because Twitter, direct messaging, it's like 140 characters, that's lame. I'm better at talking to a camera. Okay, so here's my idea.
Cute! I miss the days when people actually used YouTube and video to talk with each other and have a conversation. Continue, James.
So basically, I've received comments before from people saying like, how are you so perfect? Or you're flawless and stuff, and it's very flattering. But you know, part of me doesn't like those kinds of comments, and here's why. I don't want people to idealize me as this perfect person because then they think of themselves as less than perfect. The ultimate point here is to have people not think of other people as perfect, because nobody's perfect. And once you start seeing others as perfect, you think of yourself as less than them. And I don't want people to think that they're less than me.
Ooh, and then a few days later I was just bopping around my sub box and I found this.
Idolizing YouTube and YouTubers and all those sorts of things. What I'm about to say is going to sound very arrogant. So on Tumblr, I get a lot of asks saying, why are you so perfect, and you're my inspiration and you're my idol. And I want to address that and say, really? I shouldn't be.
And this.
I don't like the divide anymore, or like, I mean, the divide has kind of become a new thing between fans, like viewers, people who watch YouTube videos and the people who make the YouTube videos, and it just makes me feel uncomfortable. And at gatherings and stuff, people are queuing like 2 hours to meet me, and it just makes me feel weird. It makes me feel kind of uncomfortable because I don't think I've done anything that's warranted that.
So it seems to me that this is a thing. The idolization of content creators is becoming an issue that many people are identifying and starting to become uncomfortable with. Now, it is my opinion that many creators are very talented, intellectual, attractive, all around good people, but they are by no means perfect. I can guarantee that every YouTuber you are subscribed to is saturated with flaws and insecurities. When it comes down to it, they are just people sitting in their room, just like you, who sometimes talk to a camera. So in an effort to humanize ourselves and other creators, James and I would like to take a moment to open up and share with you some of our imperfections and insecurities. James?
So one major insecurity that I have is that I'm not a very proficient reader. While I do think this is a fantastically amazing book, check it out at some point, it took me longer than most people to read because growing up, I never really read that much. It just wasn't a part of my childhood, and because of that, I'm not very good at it. And that makes me feel dumb. Like, I feel unintelligent. Even though I know I'm not unintelligent, I feel stupid. And that sucks.
So one of my imperfections is that I am pretty insecure about my style. I rarely feel comfortable with myself in women's clothing, so I usually shop in the boys section of stores. But it is not easy for me. I will zip in and then get a weird look from a dude who's checking out the same shirt as me, and then I'll zip out for like 2 hours. Shopping in general is just a huge anxiety trip on my end, and since I so often preach the importance of being confident in yourself and your expression, it's just extra confusing and conflicting for me.
Another thing about me that sucks is that I am a human furnace. I sweat a lot because of it, and it sucks, but it's part of who I am. I mean, this is taking a lot to do because I'm so embarrassed by it, but it's for a purpose here. I'm showing you, James, you're showing them because you gotta be comfortable with who you are. And oh gosh, it's so embarrassing, I hate it so much. So you'll see me wearing a lot of white shirts, black shirts, and hoodies because they show the least. Awesome.
I don't think I've told the internet this before, but I am insecure about dropping out of grad school. It definitely wasn't right for me, and I ended up finding some much better alternatives, but I will always feel like I let some people down. Myself, my parents, and sometimes I feel like I am not on the same educational caliber as many of my friends who did go to grad school. And while none of this is true, it's still an insecurity and imperfection that I'm working on dealing with.
One thing that's really awkward for me, and it's uncomfortable, is social gatherings now, because, you know, I'm 22 years old, and while I have nothing against people who do so, I don't drink. It's just a choice that I've made. I don't want to drink. I don't ever want to drink. But I don't judge anybody else who does. That's their choice, and they can do that. My roommates drink. I have a lot of friends who I don't really have hardly any friends who don't drink, and that's where it becomes awkward. You know, being in a social gathering, especially at my age, like 22 and up. I mean, anytime you're going to a social event, like, everyone there can drink, and typically everyone there does drink, and I feel alone. I feel so alone when I go to these, which is why I don't really ever go out much.
It's important to me that you know that my mental health is not perfect. I know a lot of you see me as like happy, energetic, bubbly, cheerful, optimistic Ashley, which is totally true sometimes, but other times I can get sad and anxious and overwhelmed, so much so that I recently just reached out for help for the first time, and it was probably definitely one of the best decisions of my life. So again, not perfect, not always happy, not always perfect, just a person. We're all just people. So I guess the moral is, we are all just people, dealing with our own ish, trying to be the best us's we can be, despite our inevitable imperfections, insecurities, and flaws, which are totally okay because they make us us. Make sure to check out James's channel. We did a video over there as well. Okay, bye! Oh, and if you want to take an Instagram that represents one of your imperfections, insecurities, or flaws, you can totally do that. Tag me in it and use the hashtag #perfectimperfections, and I will make a beautiful collage and display it on the social medias. Okay, goodbye for real.
Follow me on Twitter.
I've been asked on behalf of Ashley to have you subscribe and like. Pretty please for me, like for me, please like for me. Pretty please for me, I'll give you fake money.